No surprise here, the Republican National Convention kicking off with former President Donald Trump officially becoming the nominee.
And that wasn't the only good news for Trump, as a major legal battle was also dropped. Let's get right to Good Day's Robert Moses. He is outside Trump Tower this morning with the very latest. Robert, good morning.
Tashani and Dan, good morning to you. Donald Trump famously descended the golden escalators here at Trump Tower back in 2015 to announce his run for president. Last night, more than 9 years later, he made his most dramatic entrance since.
With a bandage covering nearly all of his right ear, former President Donald Trump made a dramatic entrance to the Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee, a little more than 48 hours after surviving an assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania.
What happened?
He stood next to J.D. Vance, who he had chosen as his running mate earlier in the day. Vance, a 39-year-old senator from Ohio, is the author of the best-selling book Hillbilly Elegy, a memoir about the struggles of white working-class Americans. Vance has been highly critical of the man at the top of the Republican ticket, once calling him an American Hitler.
I don't hide from that. I was certainly skeptical of Donald Trump in 2016, but President Trump was a great president, and he changed my mind. I think he changed the minds of a lot of Americans because, again, he delivered that peace and prosperity.
As the pomp and circumstance unfolded in prime time in Milwaukee, NBC aired its new interview with President Joe Biden, who at times appeared combative. In light of Saturday's assassination attempt against his opponent and his subsequent admonishment to lower the temperature in our politics, Lester Holt asked him about saying he wanted to put former President Trump in the, quote, bullseye.
It was a mistake to use the word. I didn't say crosshairs. I meant bullseye. I meant focus on him. Focus on what he's doing. How do you talk about the threat to democracy, which is real, when a president says things like he says? Do you just not say anything because it may incite somebody?
While the FBI says it has now gained access to the phone of 20-year-old Thomas Crooks, the gunman, his motive remains a mystery. In video obtained by TMZ, you can hear people nearby warning officers on Saturday that Crooks was positioning himself on the roof of a building. The assassination attempt has become the talk of the convention in Milwaukee.
On Saturday, the devil came to Pennsylvania holding a rifle, but an American lion got back up on his feet and he roared!
Yesterday was a good day for former President Trump. It ended with his triumphant entry into the arena. It began with news that Judge Aileen Cannon, one of his appointees, threw out the classified documents case in Florida. Cannon ruled that the appointment of Special Counsel Jack Smith was unconstitutional.
One observation about security here, 56th Street, right alongside Trump Tower, is usually open to traffic when the former president is not here, but it has been closed to traffic. Another reminder of the muscular presence here at Trump Tower ever since Saturday's assassination attempt. And we're live at Trump Tower this morning. Dan, back to you.
Robert, thank you very much.